Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success like a magnet, while others work twice as hard and still struggle to get ahead? You're not lazy. You're not broken. You've just been trained to think like the 97%, not like the 1% who build wealth, freedom, and legacy. This book is about changing that, rewiring your mind to operate at an entirely new level. Because here's the truth. Most people never hear. You don't get a $10 million life with a 10K mindset. You can grind for decades and still stay stuck, or you can shift your mindset and start playing a completely different game, where opportunities chase you, where your decisions multiply results, and where money becomes a tool, not a trap. This isn't another motivation book. This is a manual for mental wealth. A blueprint for building the inner foundation that attracts outer success. If you're tired of being average, if you're done watching others win while you doubt yourself, if something inside you knows you're meant for more, this is your moment. Every chapter will challenge your beliefs, expose your blind spots, and give you the tools to think, act, and live like the version of you who earns, builds, and leads at the 10 Mallard level. No fluff, no excuses, just raw, practical mindset upgrades that'll change the way you see yourself and your potential forever. Before you start, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Get more powerful audiobooks that help you become 1% better every day. Chapter 1. Think like a winner. Most people are trained to survive. Winners are trained to think. Let that sink in. From childhood, we are taught how to follow rules, obey authority, and fit in. But no one teaches us how to think like a winner. No one hands us the mental software required to build wealth, solve problems creatively, and take bold action. This is why the rich get richer. Not just because of money, but because of how they think about money, time, and themselves. You don't accidentally become successful. You build it in your mind first. Let's break down the core thinking patterns that separate winners from the rest. Scarcity versus abundance. Thinking. Most people live with a scarcity mindset without even realizing it. They believe there's a limited amount of money, opportunities, success, or happiness. And if someone else has it, that means less is available for them. This creates a mindset of competition, fear, jealousy, and playing small. For example, they see someone else win, and they feel insecure. They avoid risks because they fear loss. They hoard instead of investing. They chase safe jobs, not scalable skills. Now compare this to the abundance mindset of winners. They believe money is everywhere. You just need the right value and system. They collaborate instead of compete. They celebrate others' success because it inspires them. They know problems are opportunities in disguise. A 10 million mind doesn't worry about what's missing. It focuses on what's possible. Take Jeff Bezos, for example. He didn't start Amazon because bookstores were failing. He saw the rise of the internet and imagined what could exist that didn't yet. That's abundance thinking. That's the winner's brain in action. How winners solve problems. Average minds avoid problems. Winning minds hunt them down. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your income is directly tied to the size and quality of problems you solve. Poor mindset. This is too hard. Why is this happening to me? Let someone else handle it. Rich mindset. What's the opportunity hidden here? How can I solve this for 1,000 other people too? How do I build a system so I never face this again? Winners know that problems are the raw material of progress. Every successful business you admire exists because someone solved a painful problem for others. At scale. Think about Uber. The founders didn't invent transportation. They just looked at a problem. Slow taxis, bad experiences, no tracking, and asked, how can we fix this better than anyone else? If you want a $10 life, start practicing the habit of problem ownership. Every time you catch yourself complaining, pause and ask, how would a $10 thinker approach this? That question alone will make you more powerful than 95% of people. Stop playing not to lose. Start playing to win. This one is massive. Most people don't chase their dreams. They just try to avoid failure. That's why they stay stuck. Not because they don't have potential, but because they're using their energy to protect, not build. Let's break it down. Playing not to lose sounds like, what if it doesn't work? I'll wait until the time is right. I don't want to risk what I already have. Playing to win sounds like, what if this does work? What's the fastest way to test this idea? If I fail, I'll learn faster than anyone else. Winners understand that failure is just feedback, not identity. They don't fear starting small or looking foolish in the beginning. They fear wasting years sitting on potential. Here's a mindset shift you can use today. Don't ask, what if I fail? Ask, what if I win bigger than I ever imagined? When you play to win, your decisions change. You move faster. You invest in skills. You seek mentors. You say no to time-wasting nonsense. You start building momentum. And momentum is a superpower most people never taste. Beliefs that keep people broke. Let's call them out, because you can't fix what you can't see. Here are the silent mental viruses that keep people stuck at the $0 to 5K month level. Money is hard to make. Rich people are greedy. I need more degrees to succeed. I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. It's safer to do what everyone else does. I'll start once I'm more confident. Every single one of those beliefs is a lie. They don't protect you. They trap you. Now compare those to the mental code of a $10 million thinker. Money flows to value, not effort. Wealth is ethical when earned through impact. Skills matter more than certificates. I can learn anything. This is the perfect time to begin. Safety is the enemy of greatness. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. See the difference. Your beliefs are not just thoughts. They are filters, shaping what you notice, what you attempt, what you attract, and what you tolerate. So here's a challenge. Audit your beliefs like your life depends on it. Because it does. How to upgrade your mental software. Now that you know how winners think, the next step is to install the new operating system. Here's a simple daily practice you can use starting now. Morning Rewire, 5 minutes a day. Affirm. Say or write empowering beliefs out loud. E.g., money flows to me because I create value at scale. Visualize. Imagine yourself making bold, high-level decisions like a $10 million version of you. Journal. Answer. What's one action I can take today that my future self would be proud of? Do this for 30 days. Your decisions will shift. Your environment will shift. And most importantly, you will shift. Chapter 2. Identity is destiny. You will never outperform your self-image. Maxwell Maltz. Let's get brutally honest. Most people don't fail because they're lazy, unskilled, or unlucky. They fail because deep down, they don't believe. They are the kind of person who succeeds at that level. They want to make $10 million. But they think like someone stuck at $10 our dollars. They copy what successful people do, but never become who successful people are. That's why this chapter matters more than anything else. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. You can read books, hustle hard, buy courses. But if your internal thermostat is set to normal, your results will always fall back to normal. So let's fix that. Let's rewire your identity to match the 10 life you're trying to build. The invisible script that runs your life. Every single one of us runs on a mental script, a deep, often unconscious story we tell ourselves about who we are. It sounds like, I'm just not a leader. I'm not good with money. I always mess things up. I'm the underdog. I'm just an average guy trying to get by. Here's the kicker. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you believe you are. If your internal identity is still tied to being broke, insecure, or small, no strategy in the world can save you, because identity drives behavior. If you see yourself as a confident, strategic entrepreneur, you'll make bold moves, solve bigger problems, take calculated risks, and build leverage. If you see yourself as a confused overthinker, you'll hesitate, procrastinate, second-guess, and sabotage. This is not woo-woo. This is neuroscience. The brain is hardwired to act in alignment with who you believe you are. You don't need more how to. You need more who. Here's a truth most people miss. The question isn't, how do I get rich? The question is, who do I need to become so wealth is natural to me? The 10 Millionaires version of you isn't someone who works 18-hour days. It's someone who thinks, decides, acts, and communicates like a 10 Millionaire person before the money ever shows up. Let's break this down. If you ask how, your brain looks for tactics. How to start a YouTube channel, how to write a sales page, how to invest in real estate useful. Sure, but if you don't believe you are the kind of person who executes and wins, you'll gather info forever and still be broke. If you ask who, your brain looks for transformation. Who do I need to be to build a business that prints money? Who would wake up at 5 a.m. to build? Who would confidently pitch to clients? Who wouldn't settle for average? That's a more powerful path. Because when you change your who, the how gets obvious. Rebuild your self-image from the ground up. So, how do you actually reprogram your identity? Here's a 3-step method to start shifting your self-image today. Name the old identity. You can't change what you don't name. So first, identify the old script that's been holding you back. Ask yourself, what version of me have I been operating from? What does that identity believe about money, success, and failure? How does that identity think, act, and react? For example, I've been operating as the guy who always plays safe. I avoid risk, seek approval, and feel uncomfortable with money talk. Great. Call it out. Drag it into the light. Design the new identity now. Craft the upgraded version of you. Don't think small. Stretch your imagination. Ask, what does the 10 nanometer version of me believe about himself, herself? How does that person speak, dress, think, act, lead, and decide? What habits does that version of me have? Write this down like a character profile. The 10 better me is decisive, calm under pressure, speaks with clarity and confidence, takes full responsibility, creates daily, respects time, invests in growth, and knows his value. Make it real. Make it vivid. The brain loves specificity. Practice being that person. Daily, this is where the magic happens. Every morning, ask yourself, what would the 10 Millionaires version of me do today? Would they waste an hour scrolling TikTok? Would they skip their workout? Would they avoid sending the sales email because of fear? Would they wait to feel ready? No, they would act in alignment with their future, not their past. The goal isn't to fake it till you make it. It's to embody it till it becomes automatic. Daily rituals to lock in the 10 Millionaires identity. Here are 5 powerful identity-shifting rituals you can implement starting today. Future self-journaling. 10 mins day. Every morning, journal as if you already are the 10 editors version of you. Write about your goals, decisions, and mindset from that person's point of view. Example: today I closed 2 clients because I speak clearly, solve big problems, and follow up like a pro. I hired a VA to remove low-level tasks so I can focus on high-leverage work. Why this works? Your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and memory. It will start rewiring your identity to match this new normal. Mirror affirmations. Stand in front of a mirror and speak your new identity into existence. Not cheesy affirmations like, "I'm rich," but power statements like, "I make powerful decisions fast." "I am a builder, not a consumer." "My life is a direct reflection of my habits." "I don't chase, I attract through value and clarity." Say them with emotion. Conviction rewires the subconscious faster than logic. Audit your environment. Your environment must reflect your new identity. Ask yourself, do my friends talk about growth or gossip? Does my room reflect a clear, powerful mind? Are my social feeds filled with trash or inspiration? Am I around people who challenge my thinking? You can't outgrow an environment that keeps you small. Upgrade it, or it will downgrade you. Fair? Weekly identity review. Every Sunday, reflect. Did I show up as the 10 Millionaires version of me this week? Where did I slip into the old identity? What will I do differently this week to stay aligned? Self-awareness is the GPS of transformation. Public identity anchors. Don't just change in private. Declare your new identity in public. Update your bio to reflect your new focus. Share your goals with your circle. Create content around your journey. Say, "I'm the kind of person who," often, the more you embody it externally, the faster it becomes internal reality. Identity is a decision, not a discovery. Here's the truth. Nobody tells you. You don't find your best self. You decide to be them. Most people wait for permission. They wait for confidence, for a sign, for perfect conditions. But the 10-method thinker says, "I choose this identity, and I'll live into it until the world catches up." Every version of you already exists in potential. You just have to decide which one you're going to feed. The broke, afraid, approval-seeking you, or the decisive, valuable, focused, wealth-generating you. Choose wisely, because that decision shapes everything else. Chapter 3. Time is your real currency. Let me ask you something personal. Would you trade your life for $10? Because that's exactly what most people do. Every single day. Without realizing it, they trade an hour of their life for a paycheck that barely covers bills. They say things like, "I'll do it myself. It's cheaper. I don't have time to start a side hustle. I'll figure it out." Eventually. Here's the truth. Wealthy people don't just think differently about money. They think radically differently about time. And if you want to develop the 10 meters mindset, you need to stop treating time like it's infinite and start using it like a millionaire. With purpose, precision, and leverage, this chapter will teach you how. Money versus time. Understanding the real game. There are 2 kinds of currency in life. Money, renewable. Time, non-renewable. You can lose money and make it back. You can waste money and recover. But time, once it's spent, it's gone forever. Here's a simple framework to remember. Poor people trade time for money. Rich people trade money to buy time. Ultra-rich people use time to build systems that make money without them. The question isn't, how can I make more money? The question is, how can I stop trading time for money and start multiplying time into value? This is the secret weapon of every 10-neters thinker. They don't just work hard. They work smart, leveraged, and on the right things. Let's dive into how to do it. Stop selling your hours. Most people sell the one thing they should never sell: their time. They work hourly jobs. They freelance. They do everything themselves. They're always busy, but always broke. Why? Because they're stuck in a linear income model. 1 hour. There's X. No work. No pay. More income. More hours. This is a dead-end road. You will never make 10 meters if your income is tied to your time. Let's do some math. If you charge $50 an hour and work 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, no vacations, that's $104,000 a year before tax. Now let's say you magically increase your rate to $500 an hour. That's $1 million a year. Still linear. Still trading time. Still capped, the real game. Asymmetric income. That means build once, earn forever, work 10 hours, get paid for 10,000 hours. Build systems that work when you sleep, travel, rest, or create. That's how 10 Millionaire thinkers operate. So stop thinking like a worker. Start thinking like a builder. Leverage. Labor is limited. Leverage is limitless. You have 24 hours a day. So does Elon Musk. So does the kid next door. What separates them? Leverage. There are 4 types of leverage every 10 meters mindset uses. Code automation, software leverage. Build something once, like a website, app, online funnel, course, or content system, and it runs forever with minimal effort. Examples: a digital course that sells while you sleep, a website that gets traffic and drives sales passively, an autoresponder that nurtures leads automatically. Software doesn't get tired. It doesn't make excuses. It works 24/7, scaling your output without your input. Capital, money leverage. Instead of doing everything yourself, use capital, money to buy time, speed, or results. Examples: hiring someone to edit your videos so you can focus on sales, paying for ads that bring in leads while you sleep, investing in a business instead of building one from scratch. Capital is a tool. Don't hoard it. Deploy it to buy back your time. People, team leverage. You can do 10 things poorly, or one thing exceptionally well, while your team handles the rest. The 10 Millionaires mindset is all about delegation, not domination. Examples: a virtual assistant managing your calendar and inbox, a sales team closing deals for you, an operator running your systems while you scale vision. Most people say, "I can't afford to hire." 10 Millionaires thinkers say, "I can't afford not to delegate." Here, media, content leverage. Content is leverage. A single YouTube video, tweet thread, blog post, or podcast episode can reach millions, while you do nothing. Examples: a viral video that brings in leads for months, an ebook that builds trust at scale, a tweet that reaches decision makers across the world. Why chase people when you can let your content attract them for free? 4. The time audit exercise. Let's get real. Before you can master your time, you need to measure it. Do this simple 3-step audit. Step 1. Track 3 days of your life. Use your phone's notes, a spreadsheet, or a notebook. Track every 30-minute block for 3 full days. Yes, even scrolling, eating, mindlessly checking your phone. All of it. Step 2. Categorize the tasks. Break them into 4 buckets. $10 tasks. Admin work. Cleaning, errands, replying to messages. $100 tasks. Organizing, basic content creation. Client service. $1,000 tasks. Selling, product creation, strategic partnerships. $10,000 tasks. Brand building, system creation, team scaling, vision. You'll quickly see most people spend 80% of their time on $10 and $100 tasks and wonder why they're broke. Step 3. Delete, delegate, or automate ask. What tasks can I delete? Low ROI, distractions, unnecessary. What can I delegate? To a VA, team member, contractor. What can I automate? With tools, templates, systems. Your goal: spend 80% of your time on $1,000 and $10,000 tasks every single week. Time is energy, not just hours. It's not just about how many hours you work. It's about the quality of those hours. You can work 10 hours in a foggy, distracted, burnt-out state and get nothing done. Or work 2 hours with insane focus and move your business forward faster than most people do in a week. So how do you protect your energy? Sleep like it's your job. Your brain is your asset. Fuel it. Say no, ruthlessly. Protect your calendar, like a billionaire. Create before you consume. Start your day in output mode, not input mode. Batch your tasks. Group similar tasks together to reduce switching costs. Take real breaks. Rest is a productivity tool, not a luxury. The 10-millimeter version of you isn't just more productive. They're more intentional. They treat their time as sacred because they know it's the most valuable thing they own. Start buying back your time. You don't need to wait until you're rich to buy back time. Start small. Start now. Examples. Hire a cleaner so you can use that time to write or sell. Pay $30 for a tool that saves you 5 hours a week. Delegate video editing, graphic design, or scheduling. Order groceries online and use that time to build your next product, even buying back 1 hour per day. 365 hours, year. That's almost 2 extra weeks of working time. To build, think, create, scale. Small changes now create exponential results later. Replace the to-do list with a to-think list. Everyone's obsessed with to-do lists, but the 10-millimeter mindset values thinking more than just doing. Try this weekly. What's the number one thing I'm doing that's creating the most leverage? What am I doing that someone else could do 80% as well? What am I avoiding because it's hard, but would move the needle? What bottlenecks are stealing my time and attention? Because thinking strategically for 1 hour is often worth more than grinding for 10 hours blindly. Thinking, leverage, clarity, speed. Protect your time. Like a shark, sharks don't swim backward. They don't waste time. They move forward, always. Your time is life. Treat it like a billionaire asset. Put everything important on your calendar. Don't explain yourself when you say no. Build your days around output, not input. Create a do not disturb environment. Daily, track your time weekly and look for leaks. The moment you start treating your time like gold, the world starts respecting your value like gold, too. Final words. Time makes the money, not the other way around. Here's the truth that changed my life. You don't get rich by working more. You get rich by working on the right things, at the right time, in the right way. You can't cheat time, but you can leverage it if you're serious about becoming the 10-millimeter version of yourself. Master your time, audit it ruthlessly, trade it like treasure, and buy it back at every chance you get. Because at the end of your life, the most expensive thing will be the time you wasted. The next chapter will show you how to multiply the results of your time even further by building asymmetric momentum. Let's keep going. Chapter 4. Money follows. Clarity. Here's a truth most people never hear. You're not broke because you're dumb. You're broke because you're confused. Confused people don't buy. Confused people don't act. Confused people don't win. If your goals are unclear, your product is vague, or your offer is all over the place, money will always avoid you. But if you get crystal clear on what you want, what you offer, and who you serve, you'll start attracting money, people, and opportunities faster than ever. The 10-nemitor mindset isn't just about working harder. It's about thinking sharper. And nothing sharpens your thinking like clarity. Let's unpack this. Confused people don't take action. Think back to a time when you were stuck, paralyzed, overwhelmed, procrastinating. Why? Not because you were lazy. It was because you weren't clear on what the next step was, what the goal was, what actually mattered. Clarity gives direction. Direction gives momentum. Momentum creates results. But without clarity, your brain defaults to its comfort zone. Scrolling social media, starting and quitting projects, learning instead of doing, overthinking instead of executing. Most people don't need more motivation. They need a clear map. Clarity cuts through the fog. Money follows people who know what they want. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop being vague and start being specific. Don't say, I want to make more money. Say, I want to earn 10K a month from an online offer I can scale. Don't say, I want to be successful. Say, I want 1,000 paying customers for my newsletter by Q3. Don't say, I want freedom. Say, I want to quit my job by December and have 30K saved for runway. Vagueness repels results. Specificity attracts solutions. When you're clear on your target, your brain, and the market can finally help you hit it. The 10-million mindset doesn't entertain foggy goals. It defines the target and builds toward it ruthlessly. Clarity in goals. Know exactly what you're building. Let's talk about your goals. Most people treat goals like wishes. They say things like, it'd be nice to earn passive income. I'd love to be my own boss. One day I want to build something big. That's not a goal. That's a daydream. The 10-million mindset turns vague dreams into crystal clear targets with timelines, numbers, and consequences. Here's how: use the 3P clarity framework. Precise. Exactly what are you trying to achieve? Practical. Can it be broken into steps and tracked? Personal. Is it tied to a real desire that matters to you? Example, I want to create a digital product that helps freelancers charge more and earn $5,000 a month in sales by the end of the next 90 days. Now that's a goal you can build a plan around. Clarity in goals unlocks urgency, focus, and commitment, all of which bring money. Clarity in offer. What problem do you solve? One of the biggest reasons people don't make money. They don't have a clear, compelling offer. You ask them, so what do you do? And they say, well, it's kind of complicated. Bad sign. If you can't clearly articulate what you do, how can you expect people to trust you, pay you, tell others about you? The 10-millimeter mindset operates on simple, powerful offers. Here's the formula. I help specific person solve specific painful problem so they can achieve specific desired result. Example, I help overwhelmed freelancers automate their client onboarding so they save 5+ hours per week and look 10x more professional. That's clear, that's valuable. That sells. Your goal is to make your offer so obvious that people immediately say, that's exactly what I need. Can you help me? Where do I pay? When your offer is fuzzy, people leave. When your offer is sharp, people buy. Clarity in audience. Know exactly who you serve. Here's a hard truth. You can't help everyone. Trying to be everything. to everyone makes you valuable to no one. The 10 Maidlers mindset narrows the focus. It says, I don't need 1,000 followers. I need 100 raving customers. I don't need every industry. I dominate one niche and go deep. I don't guess what people want. I solve the problems they already have. If you want to sell consistently, you need to know, who are they? What do they fear? What keeps them up at night? What language do they use? Where do they hang out online? Most struggling entrepreneurs skip this step. But once you know your ideal customer better than they know themselves, your content connects, your offer lands, and your conversion rates soar. Clarity in audience creates relevance, and relevance, not revenue. Clarity in daily action. Simplicity creates speed. Clarity isn't just about vision. It's about execution. Once you know your goals, your offer, and your audience, you need to simplify your actions. Most people do 100 things halfway. Winners do 3 things exceptionally well. Every day. Here's a simple 10-Maidler mindset habit. At the end of each day, ask, what are the 3 most valuable actions I can take tomorrow? That move the needle? Not, what's on my to-do list? What do I feel like doing? What's urgent? But what directly grows revenue? What builds my asset? What gets me closer to the goal? That level of clarity removes busy work. It creates momentum. It compounds results. Most people don't lack time. They lack clarity on what matters most. Make decisions. Like a CEO, not a worker. When you're unclear, every decision feels like life or death. You overthink. You get stuck. You spin in circles. But when you're clear on the vision and the metrics, decision-making becomes fast and powerful. This is how CEOs think. They don't ask, is this perfect? They ask, does this move us closer to the goal? They don't chase shiny objects. They execute the mission with speed and focus. Here's how you make fast decisions. Get clear on your North Star, one big goal. Choose a few key metrics that matter. Say no to everything that doesn't directly move you toward it. Clarity gives you a mental filter, and that filter saves your most precious resource: your attention. Clarity creates confidence. Have you ever noticed how confident people sound when they know exactly what they're doing? Clarity breeds certainty. Certainty breeds confidence. Confidence breeds trust. If you want customers, partners, and investors to trust you, you need to radiate clarity, not hype, not hustle. Clarity. When you speak with clarity, people listen. When your brand has clarity, people buy. When your systems are clear, your team executes. Clarity makes you magnetic. The 10-Maidler version of you doesn't try things out. They know what they want, why it matters, and how they'll get it. Even if the path isn't perfect. The hidden enemy. Mental clutter. Let's talk about something sneaky. Mental noise. The 10-Maidler mindset isn't just about external clarity. It's about internal peace, because you can't focus when your mind is full of unfinished tasks, regrets, guilt, open loops, social media noise, constant comparison. Mental clutter kills clarity. That's why the highest performers journal every morning, review their priorities weekly, meditate or walk to reset, eliminate distractions, phones, notifications, low-level inputs. Create thinking time blocks. Your brain is a tool. Clarity is its sharpness. You have to protect it. The cleaner your mind, the clearer your path. Clarity is a practice, not a one-time decision. Most people think clarity is a one-time aha moment. It's not. It's a daily practice, because as your business grows, so do the distractions. As your goals evolve, so must your thinking. As the world changes, you must realign. That's why 10 Millionaire thinkers build clarity into their systems. They regularly ask, "What's my one thing this month? What problem am I solving right now? What needs to be cut, simplified, or delegated? What will I say no to so I can say yes to what matters?" You don't drift into clarity. You design it every week, every quarter, every decision. Chapter 5. Obsession builds empires. Discipline is boring. Obsession builds empires. You've heard people say, "Be disciplined," 1,000 times. You've been told to wake up early, follow routines, work hard even when you don't feel like it. And that's not wrong, but it's incomplete. Because in the long run, discipline alone can't carry you through years of challenges, setbacks, and sacrifices. What does? Obsession. Discipline is for starting. Obsession is for finishing. Let's be clear. We're not talking about unhealthy obsession. We're talking about the kind of obsession that creates billion-dollar companies, best-selling authors, Olympic athletes, and life-changing inventions. This kind of obsession isn't something you fake. It consumes your thoughts, your energy, and your time, and you love every second of it. You don't need to force yourself to work when you're obsessed. You don't need to look at the clock, waiting for the day to end. In fact, when you're truly obsessed with something, the opposite happens. You forget to eat, sleep, and take breaks. Time disappears, and that's where magic happens. The power of focused obsession. Think of obsession like a laser. Unfocused light can't do much, but when you concentrate it, like a laser, it can cut through steel. That's what focused obsession does to life. It gives you power, direction, and speed. Suddenly, you're not dabbling in 10 different things. You're locked in on one mission, and everything else fades to the background. Take Elon Musk, for example. Whether you agree with him or not, you can't deny his level of obsession. He reads rocket science textbooks, sleeps at Tesla factories, and spends hours engineering batteries and car software. His obsession with innovation is the reason Tesla and SpaceX even exist. Most people wouldn't last a week living the way he does. But for Elon, it's not a chore. It's fuel. That's what obsession looks like. When you're obsessed, you move faster. You make fewer excuses. You stop waiting for motivation because your mission pulls you forward like gravity. Most people are half interested in their goals, so they get half results. Obsession is what flips the switch. Here's a truth most people won't tell you. The people who win are not the most talented. They're the most obsessed. Why passion isn't enough? You've been sold the "follow your passion" myth. Here's the problem. Passion fades. Obsession grows. Passion is that excitement you feel when something is new. It's fun at first, but once things get hard, once you face boredom, obstacles, or failure, passion often runs out of gas. That's where most people quit. They think the feeling is gone, so the dream must not be worth it. But obsession doesn't care about feelings. Obsession shows up even when it's hard, boring, or repetitive. Obsession doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" It simply says, "This is who I am now. Let's break it down." Passion wants to try a new idea. Obsession wants to master it. Passion reads about it. Obsession builds it. Passion gives up when it gets hard. Obsession finds a way through. If you're building something that matters, whether it's a business, a brand, a body, or a life, you need something deeper than excitement. You need obsession. Here's the good news. Obsession isn't something you're born with. You can build it. How to find your obsession. You don't wake up obsessed. You become obsessed. And that starts with curiosity. Tiny sparks of interest. Every empire starts with a question. How does this work? Why hasn't anyone fixed this? What if I could be the one to do it? Steve Jobs was curious about technology and design. Kobe Bryant was curious about how to be the best basketball player. Warren Buffett was curious about money and investing since he was a kid. They didn't start as legends. They started as curious kids who leaned into their obsessions and never let go. So ask yourself, what do you think about when nobody's watching? What do you Google at 2 a.m. for no reason? What do you feel pulled toward, not pushed, into? If you follow that thread far enough, you'll find your obsession. And when you do, everything changes. You start consuming books, videos, courses, not because you have to, but because you can't stop. You start doing the boring work because you know it's part of the mission. You stop needing outside motivation because your obsession fuels itself. Turn your curiosity into cash flow obsession isn't just about passion. It's also practical. If you can find a way to channel your obsession into a product, a service, or a skill people pay for, you've unlocked something powerful. Monetized obsession. That's how most successful people build wealth. They take what they can't stop doing, coding, designing, writing, speaking, training, and build a business around it. Here's a simple framework to turn obsession into income. Document everything. Start creating content around your obsession. Share what you're learning, testing, building, or failing at. Obsession makes you interesting. Use that. Solve problems for others. Find a painful, expensive, or time-consuming problem within your obsession space. Solve it for others. That's your product. Get so good, they can't ignore. You spend more time sharpening your skills than promoting them. Obsession makes you improve faster than everyone else. Build a tribe. Your obsession will attract people who feel the same way. Build a community. Turn it into a brand. Grow from there. You don't need millions of followers or venture capital. You need one thing you care about so much, you're willing to get really, really good at it. And help others along the way. Obsession is a superpower in disguise. We live in a distracted world. Everyone is multitasking, switching tabs, and chasing shiny objects. In this world, the person who can focus obsessively on one thing becomes unstoppable. While others chase short-term dopamine hits, you're playing the long game. While others start and stop, you keep showing up. Most people are dabblers, but empires are not built by dabblers. They're built by people who go all in. Here's a powerful truth. You don't need to be smart, lucky, or connected. You just need to be obsessed enough to outlast everyone else. If you stay obsessed for 1 year, you'll be ahead of 90% of people. If you stay obsessed for 3 years, you'll be in the top 5%. If you stay obsessed for 10 years, you'll become legendary. 6. Obsession feels like love. Here's what nobody tells you about obsession. It feels good, really good. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like love. You want to wake up and get started. You crave progress. You get high off learning, tweaking, optimizing, growing. And when people tell you to slow down, take a break, or be realistic, you smile. Because they just don't get it. Obsession is love in action. It's falling in love with the process, the pain, the grind, the little wins, and the endless improvements. That's why obsessed people don't burn out. They burn bright. 7. Obsession will make you misunderstood. That's okay. When you're obsessed, people will call you weird. They'll say you work too much, care too much, think too much. That's a sign you're on the right path. Obsession makes people uncomfortable because it forces them to face their own distractions. It reminds them they quit too soon, that they could have been better if they'd just gone deeper. But let them laugh, let them doubt. Because 5 years from now, when your obsession turns into income, freedom, impact, and a life you love, those same people will ask, "How did you do it?" And you'll smile and say, "I didn't quit, I just kept going." Chapter 6. Bet on yourself. In the journey to becoming someone who can create real wealth, a mindset shift is necessary. You must be willing to embrace risks, act boldly, and believe in your ability to win. And most importantly, you need to bet on yourself. This chapter is about understanding the unparalleled value of investing in your own potential. You are your most powerful asset, and learning to bet on yourself is the key to achieving greatness. It's about shedding the layers of self-doubt, fear, and hesitation that hold most people back. It's about realizing that your dreams, skills, and abilities are the most valuable things you possess, and they are what you need to bet on to achieve success. Let's break it down. Kill your fear of risk. One of the main reasons people fail to achieve their goals is the fear of risk. Whether it's the fear of losing money, the fear of failure, or the fear of judgment, these fears keep people stuck in mediocrity. They create imaginary walls and hold back potential. The 10 Millionaires mindset, however, does not shy away from risk. It embraces it. First, let's make one thing clear. Risk is a natural part of growth. Nothing great ever happens without some level of risk. When you take the safe route, when you play not to lose instead of playing to win, you prevent yourself from reaching your full potential. Consider this. The greatest opportunities are always found on the other side of fear. The world is full of people who play it safe, but the ones who make big moves, the ones who create real wealth and lasting success, are the ones who don't wait for certainty. They take the risks that everyone else is afraid to take. Look at some of the most successful entrepreneurs in history. People like Elon Musk, Richard Branson, or Oprah Winfrey. Every single one of them has risked everything at some point in their career. They didn't wait for the perfect opportunity. They took chances, often with no guarantees, and it's these risks that helped them create the empire they have today. Here's the truth. If you're not willing to take risks, you're not willing to grow. The fear of loss, failure, or judgment will always keep you trapped in the past. You need to learn to see risk as an opportunity, not a threat. The first step to eliminating the fear of risk is to stop thinking about the worst-case scenario. Ask yourself, what is the best thing that could happen if I take this risk? Focusing on the positive outcomes rather than what could go wrong can reframe your thinking and give you the courage to act. Taking calculated risks, learning from mistakes, and adjusting your course as needed. That's how you become a successful entrepreneur. This is a mindset shift you must make. Risk is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. Build unfair confidence. Confidence is often seen as something you either have or you don't. But in reality, confidence is a skill. And like any skill, it can be built. Especially when you start betting on yourself. Building confidence is an essential part of developing the 10-nailer mindset. You need to stop waiting for external validation and start validating your own abilities. Building confidence isn't about pretending to know everything or faking it until you make it. It's about authentic self-belief, trusting in your skills, your ideas, and your potential. You need to realize that you are enough, right now. You have everything you need to succeed. But here's the catch. To build this confidence, you need to start doing the things that make you uncomfortable. Confidence isn't built through complacency or comfort. It's built when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone and prove to yourself that you are capable. Start small. Take action on that business idea you've been hesitating to pursue. Make that cold call. Write that article. Pitch yourself for that opportunity. Each time you take action, your confidence grows. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. And eventually, these small actions compound into a powerful, unshakable belief in yourself. One of the most powerful exercises you can do to build confidence is to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Too many people only celebrate the big milestones, but the small wins matter just as much. Recognizing your progress reinforces your belief that you can achieve anything. Confidence is also about being resilient in the face of setbacks. The path to success is never linear. You will face challenges, obstacles, and failures, but each of these is an opportunity to grow stronger. Learn from your mistakes, adapt, and keep moving forward. The more you do this, the more confident you'll become in your ability to overcome whatever life throws your way. Real confidence doesn't come from other people's opinions. It comes from proving to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. And when you consistently bet on yourself and your abilities, that confidence becomes unfair. It gives you the power to succeed, even when others doubt you. Become your own greatest investment. Investing in yourself is the best investment you'll ever make. Too many people wait for someone else, a boss, a partner, or a mentor, to invest in them. But the most successful people know that the first person who needs to believe in them is themselves. When you bet on yourself, you don't need to wait for permission. Becoming your own greatest investment is about putting time, energy, and resources into developing your skills, mind, and body. It's about being willing to do whatever it takes to grow and improve. You don't need a trust fund or an angel investor to get started. You have everything you need right now to begin investing in yourself. Time and energy are the most valuable resources you can invest. Whether it's reading books, taking courses, attending seminars, or hiring a coach, these are all ways to invest in yourself. But investing in yourself doesn't just mean improving your knowledge. It also means taking care of your body and mental health. Your health is your foundation. Without it, all the money and success in the world won't matter. Eating right, exercising regularly, and getting enough rest will help you maintain the energy, focus, and clarity you need to reach your goals. You should also be investing in your network. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, challenge you, and inspire you. Your network is one of the most important assets you have. As you build relationships with like-minded, successful people, you'll begin to see more opportunities, open doors, and receive valuable advice. Investing in yourself also means taking risks. While it may seem counterintuitive, sometimes the best investment you can make is one that's risky. If you feel deep in your gut that a decision will push you toward your goals, it's time to bet on yourself and go for it. Think of your investments in terms of compounding returns. Every book you read, every class you take, every networking event you attend, it all compounds over time. As you continue to invest in yourself, your skill set and knowledge increase, and so do your opportunities. The more you put in, the greater the payoff. Overcome the self-doubt. Self-doubt is the silent killer of dreams. It's that little voice inside your head that says, "You're not good enough. You can't do it. What if you fail?" But here's the truth. Self-doubt is not real. It's a product of fear, and fear is always temporary. When you choose to bet on yourself, you choose to silence that voice of self-doubt. It will show up, no doubt about it, but it's important to recognize that it's just a thought. And you have the power to dismiss it. To overcome self-doubt, take action. Doubt always grows in the absence of action. The more you sit and think about the potential failure, the stronger the doubt becomes. But once you start taking small steps toward your goal, the doubt fades. It can't survive action. Another way to overcome self-doubt is to focus on your why. Your vision and your purpose are far greater than any moment of fear or insecurity. When you remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, the doubt begins to shrink. Your commitment to your mission becomes far stronger than any doubt. And remember this: confidence comes from doing the thing you fear most. Each time you act, despite your self-doubt, you prove to yourself that you are capable. The more you prove it to yourself, the more self-belief you'll build. Betting on yourself leads to true freedom. When you bet on yourself, you take control of your future. You stop waiting for external validation. You stop asking for permission. You stop letting fear dictate your actions. You start to create your own opportunities. You take risks that others won't take. You invest in yourself when others hesitate. And you watch as those small, seemingly insignificant actions begin to compound, ultimately leading to your success. Betting on yourself isn't about playing it safe. It's about creating your own path, defining your own terms, and living life on your own terms. This kind of freedom isn't available when you rely on others for your success. When you put your trust in yourself, however, you hold the keys to your own future. You become the architect of your own destiny. Final thoughts. The 10 Millionaire mindset isn't about playing small. It's about betting on yourself, committing to yourself, and your dreams without hesitation. It's about killing the fear of risk, building unfair confidence, and continuously investing in yourself. When you learn to bet on yourself, you unlock a power that's unstoppable. Remember, it's not the smartest or the luckiest who succeed. It's the ones who believe in themselves and bet on themselves every single day. And when you do, you'll realize that the biggest risk of all is not betting on yourself.